What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is North Carolina rapper and regular human Mavi. We spoke about The Woman King, Bullet Train, Nope, Paid in Full, Menace II Society, Lilo and Stitch, discovering music through video games and movies, the creative process behind his latest project, Laughing So Hard It Hurts, how producers Monte, Booker, Wulf Morpheus, and Dylvinci help bring the vision together, processing emotions and manhood, and why he feels his music is innocent. Come fuck with us. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back. It's real notes time. We're in storybook corner, like every week, type shit. It's I still taste cheese and eggs. It's been a good day. I'm in that weird position where I can like still taste the breakfast I had. It's been a strange day. Good day, but a strange day.
Uh-huh.
Um, but my name is Dylan Green, CineMasai. I got a lot of names, do a lot of shit. And I'm with somebody who also he's got a couple names, but he does a lot of shit. He's cooling at home right now. He's been on a crazy goddamn run over the course of the last, what's it been, bro? Like 4 years at this point.
Hush it. Hush it. Stop it. Stop.
Nah, bro. Nah, man. Man. You gotta fucking man's a rapper. He's a student.
He's a fucking regular man.
A regular man. He's a regular man. He's a regular man out here, no deity shit. You know, fucking people mispronouncing his name and shit.
Yeah, for sure. If I
We
was
got
a god, nobody would do that.
nah, stop. Fucking, we got goddamn Mavi. We got Mavi Minder, Mavi, however
Mm-hmm.
he wants to be called in the house. I feel
The
like
mayor, the cute man,
come on now.
handsome and wealthy CEO, all of that shit. However you want to call it, the son, whatever. Yeah, we in this bitch. It's my
Motherfuckers,
turn to do real notes now, nigga.
come on, son. Thank you so much, man. I was telling you off camera, but I appreciate you even wanting to do this. You know, like this is like we've been tight for a couple years, and I'm just proud of you. You know, so thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Like,
And thank you for the support. You was like one of the first niggas to ever be like, this nigga's hard and being willing to stand on it. And I appreciate that. Like, your support has changed the journey for me and your love has, I
oh
always see
man,
you every time I'm in New York down there. And I appreciate, like,
yeah.
perform. Love that.
Nah, man. Like I'm just like that's important to me to like be around for the people I love and the people that deserve the support. And you've really been putting on in more ways than one for hella people. And I just it's just been beautiful to see your journey. You know, like your music's changed my life. So like thank you for
Oh,
that too. You know, like so just thank you.
yeah, thank you, man. Don't make me get crying in this one.
Let's run it back around real quick. I'm gonna ask you the first question I ask everybody who comes on here. What was the last movie or TV
Mm-hmm.
show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
It's going to be controversial.
All right, let's hear it.
The, the last movie I seen that I had a strong opinion about was Woman King.
Okay, so how'd you feel about The Woman King? I just saw it a week and a half ago.
I'm glad you seen it. This how I feel about it. I love that for whatever reason, because I don't want to make no sweeping indictments.
Yeah.
But I love that for whatever reason. Large scale productions are employing like a lot of black people. I love um Viola Davis's performance from a lot of perspectives. I fucked with Cub from Star Wars and that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going to my cultural criticism. I feel like it low key was like, okay, so the truth of the matter is like, and they touched on this gently. The Agoji wasn't like, and the kingdom of the Homia as a whole at that time that they was trying to paint during the movie. It wasn't like an abolitionist force, you
No.
know? Not close. It might have been like being able to consider the opposite kind of, you know what I'm
The
saying?
exact opposite,
And
bro. Like
so
they literally had slaves. Like,
it kind of felt like if I made a movie about gangs in America, right? And the Crips were the good guys and the Bloods were the bad guys. You know?
yeah,
Like neither one of these people are the good or bad guys. They both doing some evil and they both got feelings toward the evil that been applied to them and the evil that they apply. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I don't know. It feel like okay, and then the ending scene where, you know, they go kill all the niggas. She killed a nigga who assaulted her and stuff like this.
yeah,
And then the king is like, we will no longer be our own oppressors. Like, that's not how that shit happened, bro. And also, like, damn. So the road, so for Africa, the road to the abolition of slavery, or even slavery becoming mildly distasteful, is paved only with fucking Black Death. Like only.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Like,
only niggas got murdered by only other niggas like the whole movie, bro. Like for real. I don't know. It
nah.
was strange. It was a little. It felt a little Oscar baity. The messaging had a lot of crisscrossed wires. I like the feminist element where Viola Davis is like, you know, she realized it was just her younger girl self that she
Mm-hmm.
was running from in the dream.
Yeah.
But then I felt like even that didn't have enough um, recognition of the fact that, like, again, in the same way that the Oyo and the Kingdom of the Homie were neither one of them were in a morally superior position on slavery. Neither was in a morally superior position on anti-girl misogyny. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like the forces that allow her to be assaulted by an Oyo warrior dominated the Kingdom of Dahomey in that time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel
Yeah.
like it just represents like a very white gazy approach to the strength in Black femininity and a very flattened morally um, view on a Black taboo, which is Black people killing each other, enslaving each other, assaulting each other.
Right.
And more grace should have been given to that taboo as such from internal looking out, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Cause like when I first heard about it and I was doing my research just like on everything the movie's about, my
On
first
her
thought,
Goji and stuff, right?
right, exactly. Like, like my first thought was like, oh, they own slaves. So like they gotta address
Right.
that, right? And like it's not really in the trailers. So I'm like, are they gonna go after this? And then I'm watching the movie. I saw it with my pops and my sister who just moved back home. Shout out to Joe, I love you. Um, the three
Yeah.
of us saw it together, and like that was like an important thing for our family to do just because. And like I'm
Right.
watching it and I was like, okay, so like they kind of sort like they addressed it more than I thought they were gonna address it, which kind of surprised
Right.
me. I thought they were just gonna completely like I thought they were
Yeah,
just gonna completely
when she
not
was
do it.
talking to the king and she was like, you know, we can do the palm oil.
Right. Yeah.
Uh and we don't have to engage in that. That was interesting to me. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It was still meant to paint it was still meant to protagonize the Agoji, which is okay for them to be the protagonist, but it was okay for like Ace Boogie to be a protagonist
Yeah,
who only sold. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
It's okay for fucking Kane and O Dog to be a protagonist,
Yeah.
but let them be that kind of protagonist. It's some tragedy in the fact in the lives that even the women who enlisted to become the Agoji had to live.
Hmm.
Their rights as women, in a strictly feminist sense, wasn't always an empowering social position, even if it was a relative of relative a relatively like elite position in the society. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They couldn't marry, they couldn't have children. They were like ceremonially married to the king, which is
Right.
like an interesting cultural practice to make this like Oscar worthy like grand feminine statement at the end around. And not that they don't
Right.
represent a symbol of like women's strength, but it's more complicated than that if you're a black person living amongst black people and know how shit like that
Absolutely.
go, you know?
Yeah, and it was like it was like I say all of that to say that I kind of appreciated them trying to make it a little more complex, but it's like 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 I'm riding with you in the sense that they tried, but it wasn't enough, and like
But
I
but
thought,
even more than it wasn't enough. Also, let me tell you what other part of my cultural criticism of this comes from.
yeah, please.
I read they put out like a LA Times like response article, right?
Oh.
And they said, whenever a movie like this comes out, there's always a vocal but small minority who like decries like historical accuracy, even though no such thing is possible in Hollywood for this type of story.
Hmm.
Interesting, but I can take it that hey, doing historical accuracy about like understudied, underexamined outside of the white gaze practice like this is going to be difficult, right? They went on to say in the article, it's ironic that they would have this criticism of this movie, which is one of the first positive depictions of Africa in film today. I don't know about all of that. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know about all of that. I don't know if it was such a positive depiction of Africa at all. And that's not it's not meant to be. You can't have no positive depiction of Africa about that time period. There wasn't no
Yeah.
positive. You can, you know what I'm saying? Like it was when that type of shit going on, there's not no positive time and place.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Where we trying to just farm a moral victory out of like a very dark period. Like I said before, it's like we made a movie about the 80s and 90s in LA about the Crips and Bloods, and the Crips were the
Right.
good guys, and the Bloods were the bad guys.
Exactly.
It's a
Like,
time of overall extreme tragedy that it even came to exist in this form. That this practice
mm,
did. You know.
oh yeah, totally. It's yeah, it's just like like it's not the type of story that fits into the Hollywood mold. Like I think it
Right.
would like I think it would have been braver if they had really like like if it wasn't so clearly like a good guy versus bad guy type thing. Like it would
Right.
have like like if they had really dug into like the stuff that made that society run the way it ran and like weren't afraid to like really but like once it, and like I thought about this because like Gina Prince Bythewood, we all know who Gina Prince Bythewood is at this point.
Yeah.
Like she directed it, but she wasn't the
Yeah.
person who came up with the idea for the
She
movie.
didn't write it. Right.
No, she didn't write it.
Oh,
And the original person who did was she's an
Dana
actress named
Stevens.
no, it was Dana Stevens and Maria Bello. I don't know if you know who Maria
Mm-hmm.
Bello is, but she's
Uh-uh.
she's a white lady, very good actress. But like she was the woman who initially had the idea to make the movie about the Agoge, you know,
Right.
like and like she brought Gina Prince Bythewood on to direct the movie, and obviously like Gina Prince Bythewood has her own relationship with all the shit,
Right.
and like she made the movie, but like like it started, like it kind of started from this whole perspective of like let's turn this into the typical Hollywood movie,
Mm-hmm.
and like and you're like there are
And
good
I
things
think I
about
I do think we posted lionize these images especially this is a rare ass. It's an all women battalion, bro.
Right, man.
Not to say that
Like,
no movie like not to say that no movie about this shit exists.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
But I think it kind of undercuts your ultimate this is pro black messaging when under a little bit of scrutiny, you know?
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm with you. Like, I think and you're like then like there's a lot to consider because like, like the Ogoje were like they were the inspiration for the Dora Milaje from Black Panther,
Right.
and like the things I liked about the movie were like the fight choreography was beautiful. Like it looked better than the
Yes.
Black Panther movie. Like that shit was
Yeah,
tight. Like
definitely. All the stunt work was amazing. Even
mhm.
oh my god, like even the scenery, and I don't know about the historical accuracy of this, but the wardrobe, the costume, everybody looked so beautiful and fit and amazing. It
Yeah.
just it was like and I liked that it had to be 200, 300 black actors, actresses involved. Had to be. So
Yeah.
does it have a right to exist? For sure, for sure. Could it have existed like with a little bit of more tilt that reflected that it came out of black hands? Also, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Like like that's kind of what I was grappling with after I saw it because like I really enjoyed it just like on like a
Me too.
purely in like a purely technical sense and just like in terms of like being entertained, I was entertained. Like all the
Yeah, same.
storylines work well, the actors are all good, the fight choreography was great, the cinematography, the sound design, the editing, everything was real top notch, but like
Yeah.
everything I got nothing to add to what you said. Like you hit it all on the head for me. Like and this is stuff, like this is like people don't want like especially niggas don't want us talking about this because it's like, oh, like we got the movie with the all black cast. But it's like
Mhm.
we should want and then like this shouldn't be the end all be all. Like we should want better and more nuanced and with like a little more finesse, like you were saying. Like that shit matters, like it's like
Especially
it's
when we making a movie about this.
yeah, like this story that like so many people
Some
don't know
shit we
shit
don't even
about.
talk about. Bro, niggas literally don't even talk about
Like
the fact of that fact. Like, I ain't even gonna say it out loud. Cause of what niggas like think you mean when you say that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, so if we gonna make a movie about that fact or what happened, how we might have got here, how we might have helped us get here in some
Mm-hmm.
ways, let's be gentle. But I
Right.
seen that. I also seen Bullet. I also seen Bullet Train.
How'd you like Bullet Train?
I really dug Bullet Train. I really dug Bullet Train.
Yeah,
I
Bullet
don't know
Train
if
was
I
cool
was.
as hell.
It was like a fucking. It's like going to the fair. You know, it's
Yeah.
like the movie. It's like the movie you go to the movies to see. You're like, oh, nice, like a little adrenaline rush. Yeah, it was good. I didn't feel like they wasted no characters. I feel like Bad Bunny did his shit. My nigga
Yeah.
Paperboy did his shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Zazie
the
Beats,
British,
fucking Van did her shit.
yeah, Zazie Beetz definitely did her shit. My British partner did his shit. The little girl who ended up not being a little girl did her shit. Everybody did their shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I also seen Nope. That
Okay.
was really
Could we talk a little? Because we haven't talked about this at all on this show. So I want to talk about Nope a little bit. I've been waiting for somebody to tell me they've seen it. So thank you
Let's
for
talk
being
about
the
it.
first. Like,
I've seen it twice.
me too. So what? Yes, like before we move on, what'd you think of Nope? Like, how'd you like it?
First time or second time?
Both. Give me both.
So the first time, all right, let me preface it with this. I've never seen Jaws.
Okay.
So when I first seen Nope, I was like, I don't get it.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it. I was like so confused. My second time seeing Nope, I was like, oh, this is so hard. Like this is so fire. And I understood even more than I understood what the movie is about. just my life experience and shit like this recently made me understand why Jordan Peele in this stage of his career would make it.
Yeah.
Like, and finally, I don't know, like, yeah, like just in I hate saying shit like this, but in times like these, a movie that like criticizes spectacle is a real necessary piece of art.
Yeah.
Once I understood things like okay, I feel like the two antagonists of the film is like that little juke nigga
Yeah. Oh,
or Asian
definitely.
nigga.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Steve
Once I
Ewan. Shout
realized
out
he
to
was
Steve
a
Ewan.
yeah, he snapped. And the other antagonist is gays. You know,
Tell
once
him.
I understood that, I was like, yeah, this movie's fire.
Yeah, cause like the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. I was thinking about it in relation to to both Us and Get Out, of course. But like, like I was thinking to myself, like, all right, so like everything they're saying about spectacle is really cool and I appreciate it. But for some reason I was like, this is cool. I really enjoyed it, but it's not like great, right? And then I saw
Right.
it the second time, and then I started noticing a lot more of the foreshadowing and just like how
Yeah.
deep that shit went. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is like this like it's I was just telling my sister last night, this might almost it's like almost as good as Get Out. It's like right
I
there,
like
you
it
know?
more than Get Out. You know
Okay.
something? I don't get Get Out all the way.
In
I
in
don't know what he's
in
trying to say too much. Like, okay,
okay,
I know
okay,
this one
okay.
is about like spectacle is dangerous, seeking to control. For example, the whole metaphor with the niggas being the first shit on film, right?
Yeah.
Nigga riding the horse. Capturing something wild for a simplified or comfortable observation is a dangerous and maybe not even worthwhile pursuit for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like an overpowering urge that we have to capture and document, despite of that. That's a cool, I get it. So, but what I
Yeah.
don't get about Get Out is like, is that about culture? Like, I don't understand what the metaphor of like the organ theft is trying to say.
What it what I kind of got from it and still get from it is that like white people hate us, but they also just want to be us,
Oh
you
yeah, for
know?
sure.
Like, but like if there's anything else to it other than that, I don't know. But that's always
That's
what
what
Get
I
Out was
got from
telling
it
me.
too. But
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't
Okay.
like that
Okay.
that message. I don't know. That message making a whole movie about that message doing that is interesting, but less interesting than note for me. And
I
because
feel you.
I don't know, even like bro, one of the other things is the picture that they ended up getting of the alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was after it had been torn open by the barbed wire.
Yeah. Well, no, it had it been torn open, or did it just kind of like, I thought it just like
Bro,
transformed into the thing,
think about
right?
bro, no, no, no. Think about when this transformation happened. It had sucked Cud up. Cud had wrapped himself up in the barbed wire. It
Yeah.
sucked him up, and then it spat him back out. It had the barbed wire still in him. Then it
Okay.
came
Yeah.
open like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit
Mm-hmm.
was finna die for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's when they was able to get their picture of it. And I think that was also a pretty good aside to include in the story. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, man,
I
it's
love that
great.
movie.
I've
The
I've been
more it
I've
sit
been
on
wa-
my brain,
Yeah, same here, bro. Like I've been wanting to rewatch it again because I mean like the Gordy's home shit, like just like the whole thing with Jupe and the and the Star Lasso experience and the Gordy's home shit alone, like that could have been its own movie. Like I would have loved to see
literally.
that, you know. But
And
like,
even where he even where like the whole shit was the first thing this nigga Jupe say in the movie when they enter the shit to go talk to him about getting the
mhm,
horse back. That nigga say su casa es mi casa.
yeah,
He trying to take over they shit. And he trying to. I don't know. I just love that movie, bro. He did a lot. He
yeah,
did a lot real gently with that movie. That's why I fuck with about it.
yeah.
I
I just like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What?
no, I ain't saying nothing.
I just like, cause like when I first saw it and I talked to people who had seen it, people didn't get what the Gordy's home shit meant. But like you look at it and this kid watched his whole fake family get mauled by a monkey, by a chimpanzee. And the chimp came over to him and was going to do the fist bump, gets shot, boom, very sad. Obviously, bro's traumatized. But he
Right.
also he also learned like the worst. He walked away with the worst possible lesson you could take from that. And he thinks that he thought Gordy coming to do the fist bump
The
meant
fist
that
bump means
he thought that he still had a sense of control over him.
some kind of connection and control uniquely
Right.
of everybody else to this
Right.
wild and uncontainable kind of.
Which goes over to his relationship with the fucking with Jean Jacket and
Yeah.
him. I want to show you how dumb I am. I didn't realize Jupe had been feeding the horses to them
To Jean Jacket to my
the whole
second
time
watch news.
until exactly. Yeah. That's where I was too. I saw it and I was like, oh, he was feeding them the horses the whole time. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like I was why I was confused, but not like just like that's like that plays into the whole spectacle thing. Just like what spectacle will do to somebody's mind and what will do, like it's like surface level in the sense of like people literally not being able to look away from the alien and you literally dying if you look at the shit. Like, like they figure out that you can't look at it because it works like a horse, like breaking a horse. Like if
My,
you look the horse in the eyes, that shit's gonna go crazy. But like just it's just crazy. The movie's great.
I think
Like
I understood. Well, the last point I want to make about it is why I said
yeah.
I understood why he might make it at this point in his career. Is I feel like it's safe to say in media, like for example, Jordan Peele gets a divorce tomorrow is going to be the news. I feel like
Yeah.
he's pretty famous. Like he done it like A list. I think
Yeah.
like this being his, I could say third movie, well probably second movie he's made as like a fully fleshed celebrity in that space
Yeah.
feels so apt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Like because like he's kind of been around for a while. He's got like an
Yeah, through
established
Key
voice
and
as a
Peele.
director. Right.
Yeah.
And like he like people go see Jordan Peele movies just because he made them. Like I can't think of any other
Right.
director. I can't think of any other director that people are going like no, like nobody's going to see a movie that Anton Fuqua made
Mm-hmm.
like, because he made it. Like
Right.
like people didn't go see Training Day because Anton Fuqua made it. People saw Training Day because
Right.
Denzel's in it,
Denzel's in it. Right.
like directed by Jordan Peele, you're going to see that even if you
You're
don't like
going.
it, like you're there, like like the ticket's already bought. And I think
Definitely.
like I think like to I agree. That's all I'm trying to say is I agree. Like he's you're like making the movie about spectacle when he's hit that point in his career. Yeah, definitely apt. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's fire. I'm excited to watch it again, honestly. Um,
Yeah.
so for you, what's the first movie experience you can remember having? It could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house, wherever.
Shit. Probably some shit like, I'm a baby. Probably some shit like Nemo
Hey,
or no, Lilo and Stitch for sure.
hey, come on now.
Yeah. I love Lilo and Stitch. Um, the first movie where I'm like these niggas made this shit literally for me. And this is gonna sound so cliche,
That's
but
okay.
I'll stand by it. Was when I seen Paid in Full. I was
Let's talk
like,
about it.
oh my God. I was like, thank you, God, that a nigga made this movie, bro. Cause like that was cause like and it was crazy because like that was in my era. I was like, I think I was like 15, 16. And it was like the time where, everybody would come to school and talk about Friday or Menace to Society. All these movies set it off. And I ain't
Yeah.
see none of them bitches. Like, cause I wasn't raised, I was not intentionally, but I wasn't raised on the movies necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad is a Nas man, so I wasn't gonna go see that Rockefeller movie no way. what's the name?
Stop.
What's the name? When I seen Paid in Full, bro, for the first time, I was like, and when the second time, like I understood it more and more. It was like, bro, this is like if Shakespeare made a play about niggas, bro.
Yeah.
Like this shit, and it was so crazy that it was a true story. Like they shit is dead Shakespearean, bro. Like it's like the perfect tragedy. Like the perfect tragedy, bro. Like, oh my, like Ace Boogie as a hero. My dog's name is Ace Boogie. Like
Damn, dude.
literally. Like, but Ace Boogie as a hero is like one of the most important like black mythical figures like of the modern African American man. I can stamp
Damn,
that.
dude.
I can stamp it.
That's hard. Like, I
And
can't.
Mitch, like
Mhm.
everybody know Mitch. Like
Yeah,
literally
money making
everybody
Mitch.
know,
Come on.
but everybody knows that nigga in real life. Like he just a turned nigga. Like he was good at basketball. He was good with hoes. He been having money and nobody know. Like Lil Baby is Mitch. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
basically,
Like they,
yeah.
like these are like everybody knows Rico. Like Rico is like oh dog. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
Everybody knows all three of these niggas. And everybody know what happened when all three of these niggas get tight, and it's what happened to them niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I love that movie.
Yeah, nah, man. Paid in full is like I watched it again not too long ago just to like, just because it was time, and like it's really got everything you could want out of that kind of movie. Like there's laughs, there's fucking drama, like Mekhi Phifer in the fucking car, like telling the story about Sonny, or not even the story, but just like him losing it over losing Sonny. Like just like that whole scene is like, it's like that and like I mean, like I'm just like Wood Harris doing his thing, Cameron doing his like it's just
Cam
really
Snap.
son like I always think about the story where Cam literally showed up to set with a real gun, like to audition for the shit, and like they gave him the role. Like it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, and like one thing that I feel like I didn't appreciate as much before was like the DJ narration. Like the
Oh
DJ
yeah.
that shit makes it feel so New York, like in
Bro,
such a
it's that's what I'm
specific
saying.
way. Like
It's like niggas made it for niggas, bro. It's like my nigga Cam in that, like all your clunky exposition, like it,
right.
like just doing it through like how the club is changing, though, and shit like that too. Like over the years,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just so interesting. Like as opposed to like Menace to Society, which is another I love, but it's like an imperfect tragedy.
Yeah.
Don't nothing like literally nothing good happened in that movie. It's so damn. It's so symbolic and like autobiographical that
Yeah.
like it's like less universal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
why I
just
say
so
Paid in Full is more Shakespearean.
I get that. And like Menace to Society is also just like they really wanted to drive home the point that like the hood is bleak. And like, yeah, like sure
Yeah,
that might make it feel more real, but it's just like it's just a lot. And like I think paid in full
that's
because like
it's so much.
It's so much. Like I just got the they just put it on Criterion not too long ago, and I got the DVD and I watched that again, and it's just that's the type of movie you watch that once every maybe 4 years for me. Like I don't watch that shit often. Like
It's
I can't.
actually it actually hurts to watch Menace II Society.
Yeah, it's fantastic, but like it's not one of those that you go back to like, oh yeah, like I love me some like no, like you go back to Paid in Full, you're not going back to Paid in Full for the same reason you're going back for Menace to Society, like at
No,
all. Which is weird because they're both kind of like the
sister
tone,
films.
yeah, like the tone of Paid in Full is just like there's so much like it's more layered emotionally than Menace is. Like Menace is just like
Right.
all like this shit tough, and like that's fine. Like shit's tough. But like Paid in Full is just like, you have like, you have moments where Wood Harris and Regina Hall are flirting in the
Yeah.
goddamn apartment. You have moments where Ace and Lulu are dealing with the drug shit. You have
Yeah.
moments you have the moments where like Cam, you have the moment where Cam is showing the sex tape in the fucking club, like
It feels more full spectrum.
definitely, it definitely feels more full spectrum. They're both great movies, but like Paid in Full is just like I would like if I'm with people, I'm throwing on Paid in Full and not Menace to Society. Like that's like a
Yeah,
movie you watch
bro.
by yourself at like 11
Yeah,
o'clock at night.
everybody gonna leave your
Like,
house hella sad if you put that shit on.
you
Everybody's
know,
gonna be hella sad.
right. And if there's like one person in there who's like there's always that like one person who like really thinks they're O Dog. And it's like, and if you think that you're O Dog and are like proud of the fact that you're O Dog, like
Did he
you the
even die at the end? Did he survive?
O Dog's the only one or not the only one, but he survived. Yeah.
Yeah, he survived, right?
He
Yeah.
he didn't he
Yeah,
didn't
that
even leave the crib. He didn't leave the crib when he got shot. We don't
yeah,
see
that's not
him after we don't see him after after Kane and Jada Pinkett are about to leave. Like they say goodbye and O-Dog kind of like grumbles to himself and then we don't see him again. Like
yeah, that's pretty unrealistic, brother.
that shit is kind of crazy. Like
Yeah, that's pretty unrealistic.
but it is what it is. Menace to Society is a great movie. The Hughes brothers went in, everybody
Oh,
went in.
oh yeah. I love a
Damn.
good nigga film now.
You love a good what film?
Nigga film.
Yeah, bro, you already know. Come on. Like and there's
Let
few
me
other
see what.
what happened?
No, continue.
Uh, um so you are what's it called? Shit. Where'd my brain go just now? Okay, so that's movies for you. Well
Mhm.
actually no. Before we move on to music, talk to me a little bit about Lilo and Stitch. What did you love about Lilo and Stitch?
Uh, I ain't seen it as an adult, but I love Pleakley, like nigga with one eye. I
Uh-huh.
love the big ass FBI agent. I love
Yeah,
that era of
Bubbles.
Disney animation. Yeah, I love that era of Disney animation. Like shit used to reverberate and shake and jiggle and move, and that shit just felt so alive to me. And I love Stitch. I don't know, Stitch like having a friend who a street nigga. Like literally, literally, it's literally like being friends with a gangster. Lilo and Stitch. But
Yeah.
I love Lilo and her sister. I love how she used to beat dog shit. Like she was a gangster too, though. Like, but she was a
Yeah,
gangster
bro.
her own way. Like, I love that movie just so much. Like, it's just pretty looking. It's pretty feeling. You know, it's
Hmm.
cute. It's in Hawaii. I can dig it.
That shit that
Yeah,
shit made me like Elvis for a hot minute. That's how good that movie is. Because there's
yeah.
so much Elvis Presley in that movie.
Literally, bro.
like
Literally. You think you could be mistaken for thinking Elvis is hard, but he
like
might be hard. I don't. I'm an Elvis hater, bro.
I
I don't
feel
even
you.
know why I'm an Elvis hater. I think that's like me being racist down there.
That's not
Elvis might
racism.
be hard.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't know.
he's he's
I ain't gonna do that.
he's got joints,
You know
bro.
what?
It's
You know
a
what
what?
Elvis rabbit hole I just went down though?
What happened?
Like his last days is a
Yo,
crazy.
I just did that too because I was thinking about it because of the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, but tell
Me
me what you
either.
found out. Tell me what you found out.
Just like how he was eating, how he was just gaining so much weight. He didn't even look that bad though in the pictures I looked up, like right before he died. He
Yeah,
didn't look that big. But
but
he
he
was
hadn't
like,
taken a shit in 6 months, bro.
bro, he
Six
didn't want to be,
months.
he wasn't letting nobody see him. He was taking like 60 pills a day. Like he was really living a crazy lifestyle before he kicked it, bro. Like crazier than I've ever known any nigga to. For
Yeah,
sure, Mr. Presley.
he was. Yeah, no, Elvis is like honestly, I like I've seen some crazy clips from that movie. It looks kind of wild and fun, but like I honestly would have rather watched a movie about Elvis's last days. Like just like the last like 2 weeks of his life. Like give me a movie about that. I'll watch that like right now.
It's
But
something
like
so interesting about ugh, I'm gonna make a lame point. But like misogyny is the fact that like almost every superstar artist that was that famous like that died like Elvis, right? Like
in in what way?
I just mean in the way you beat your body up with drugs and
Oh yeah.
overindulgence. Um, but we only actually refer to shit like like look, you don't even know, like, you don't even want to refer to it as that. We only literally refer to the only like drug related death that we call a drug related death is my good sister Whitney Houston's, or like a Janis
Yeah.
Joplin, or like you know what I'm saying, like, or like what's
Yeah.
my name? Uh, Joe Belushi, is that it? John Belushi?
Yeah, he was supposed to play Shrek. Sorry, I don't know why I know that off top. But yeah, he
Word.
was sorry to go out. You're making a point. Finish making your point and then I'll tell you the story. You're
But
making an important
I
point.
just, but all this to say, like, and I hate to say this, but like Prince and like Michael and Elvis, we got like this shadowy kind of delicateness around how they died. That is a point that could be made with more transparency. That's all I'm saying.
Totally. Yeah, and like we all like growing up, I knew that I knew Elvis died on the toilet.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the drug aspect until I did what you did and went and like read about it. And like
Right.
you're absolutely right. Like I think that's something that deserves more transparency in a lot of
Right.
ways, especially when it comes to men, because people are always just willing to, like you said, like Whitney Houston especially, like it was yeah,
It's because
like
we'd be more ready to assign a moral failing to something that everybody with that level of visibility in the history, like short of Beyonce, have public struggles with.
right.
Like every single body.
Yeah, it's like we and I hate to say it like this, but we got to do better. Like obviously we got to do better, but like
Just in
like
our
you.
pop culture, like, because pop culture history is always a buzzing, what I'm saying, area of documentation. But I feel like that's something that needs a deeper dive. Why do everybody get high and get high the same ways once they certain amount famous? What
Yeah.
happened to everybody? You know, and not even what happened to them once they was famous. What happened to them before they was famous?
Mm-hmm. No,
Hmm.
all great questions. All great questions that we need answered, honestly. Um, but for you, that's a bit of that's a bit of you and your history with movies. Real quick, since we've done this before, when did
Hmm.
you first fall in love with music? And like when did music? I mean, like I know music was like a big part of your life in general, but like when did you
Yeah.
first fall in love with it?
I probably fell in love with music when I was probably about 11, 12, 13, when I started listening to stuff on a streaming service or on an MP3 player, and not just like what was on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to understand it as something for me to use and appreciate and indulge on an individual level from just learning about Doom and the whole Chicago Save Money scene and Earl and Vince and Dash and Rich and Kendrick now, you know, Kanye deep dives at that point. I
Mm-hmm.
think Yeezus had just come out.
Yeah,
Once all that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. That was like 2013. Yeah,
yeah, 2013 was like a perfect storm rap year for me for sure.
I could
Uh-huh.
see that. And that was I mean like Chief what's it called? Keef had already blown at that point, but like I know
Oh
I
yeah,
know
bro.
I know you're
I was
I know you're a huge Chief Keef fan, so like
oh yeah, bro. And yeah, that was about that same year, like seventh grade. I remember my first time hearing Finally Rich front to back. I was like, oh no, this nigga is actually different, bro. I was like, whoa. And then when I heard Bang too, I was like, no, this nigga like is so different, bro. Like he's so different. It didn't happen again when I was like in 11th or 12th grade, or maybe it was 10th grade. Had to be 10th grade when Future dropped Purple Rain,
hmm
and I was able to appreciate all of the. And I was like, nah, this rap shit is the one. It's really the one. And so somewhere along the way, in between those two awakenings, I decided I could do it on my own and
hmm
contribute to my own joy that I'll be taking from music with my own music, you know?
And like once you kind of figured that out and you got the movie thing going on with whatever you were watching at the time, like was
Mm-hmm.
was there ever a point when you recognized that the two of them complemented each other, like music and film kind of complemented each other, and that they like amplify each other in a way? Did that ever happen consciously? Because like it doesn't happen consciously with everybody, but
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah. Like, I am a Shazam world champion. One thing about the iPhone, did you know you could add Shazam to your control panel?
I just learned that last night. Like literally
Yeah.
just last night.
So
So it's crazy.
my Shazam is in my control panel, and in my history of this phone, which I haven't had for a very long time, I've Shazam 310 songs.
Shit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So that to say, a lot of my favorite songs, or like, a lot of my like, especially songs that are like outside of my usual comfort zone of hip hop, R&B, soul, jazz. The majority of them, especially when we come to this like 50s fucking white people music and shit like that, and the Frank Sinatras and shit. I
Yeah.
literally learned the majority of this music from movies and TV and shit, you know?
Right.
And yeah, I think that understanding came to me in in appreciating really good TV first before I realized that's what was guiding a lot of my enjoyment of movies. But for sure, it was both. Breaking Bad when I was probably about 14. That was my first time like, and Breaking Bad had some shitty music, but Breaking Bad also had like some scenes where the scene was literally the song.
Yeah.
Like the reason for the scene's existence was the song. And also The Sopranos was like that also. Um, in the same way. Music was an important device in advancing the what we saw. Um, that definitely changed the game for me.
Yeah. I mean, like just yeah, just like needle drops. Needle drops when it comes to that type of shit are just so important. And I discovered a lot of music that way growing up too, like even like before Shazam, but like especially now, like I'll like hear a song on the show and be like, what's that? Like like you mentioned Breaking Bad
Yeah,
specifically. There were a couple of Fleetwood Mac songs on there that I hadn't heard before, and I was like, oh shit, like
yeah,
these are tight, like I love Fleetwood Mac. I think they're great. But like, I think yeah, just like movies and TV shows are such a great like a great vehicle for music discovery. Like it's one that I feel like a lot of people, I feel like it's a thing that's like everyone recognizes it, but not very many people talk about it. Like how like how important that is for music discovery. Because it was for me. Like I picked up a lot of my favorite music as a jit from games and movies and TV outside of like my own
definitely.
general outside of my own
Video games
general
for sure too.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Like
it was literally a song from fucking Little Big Planet's original soundtrack. I had stuck in my head my last LA trip, and I was so sick I couldn't figure it out. But then I figured it out, bro. That's one of the best feelings, like not knowing what's the name of that song from this thing and then finding it. Oh, I love that feeling.
yeah,
That's like
yeah,
my
no,
favorite feeling.
the
But
serotonin just goes in the back of your head, like amazing.
like I knew it. And once you hearing it, you like, I knew it. See, I was telling, because you be asking niggas like, "What's that song that goes such and such?" And they be like,
Yeah.
"Bro, that what? That's not a song." And I'll be like, "Bro, yes, it is."
And you play it, it's like I told you, like, yeah, no, that's indescribable feeling, bro. Oh my god. Shit. Um, before we get to laughing so hard it hurts, which I mean, needless to say, shit's fucking fire. Congratulations on it. Um,
No, nigga, I need you to say it. No,
all right.
ain't no. but,
Nah,
but
bro.
continue.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you, congratulations. It's great. Chinese Finger Trap is one of the best songs you've ever made. Like
That
straight
is,
up and fucking down. Like
that's my favorite song on there.
this shit is gas, son. I can't even like that's the one I
Yeah.
was stuck on the first time, and that's the like even when I find new songs that I appreciate more than I did before, Chinese Finger Trap's always the one I go back to. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
That's my
that it's
baby.
Doves, it's Doves and that Doves Hemlock and
Mm-hmm.
Reason. Hemlock and
Oh,
Reason have been sticking in my ribs a bit too. They didn't before, but they do now. It's weird how that works. But yeah, like you like you just I just had Wulf Morpheus on the podcast last week. His episode's about to go out tomorrow.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Did
nah.
he
So
say good things about me?
of course he did, son. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna
We
say
go.
good things about him. I couldn't have made this album without Cuz.
Yeah, no,
He
he's
he definitely is one of the main shapers of the sound for sure. Like he's the line around which all the rest of the production like colored inside of, you know?
I can see that because like like between like him, like people like him and Dylvinci like holding their own against like Monte Booker and Overcast is crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
them them two are in the stratosphere. So for Wolf and Dill to really come in and like do their thing the way they did is
But my
just
thing is with both of them, with Wolf too in specific, but both of them, the reason why I even wanted to have him in such like a prominent role is because I was like actually shocked that he had never done anything in that capacity before.
right. I think I told him something similar too. Like that shit is weird.
He's kind of huge in terms of like the fucking YouTube scene, the SoundCloud scene, just the lo-fi scene, like but like the real lo-fi scene, not lo-fi like what they be trying to call me, Tebe and Mike, all them. I like
Yeah.
when people give me an opportunity. And more than I felt like I was giving them an opportunity, I feel like they were giving me an opportunity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that up in my hands strongly. It's funny you mentioned the Overcast and the Monty ones because originally none of the Monty ones were going to be on the album. Like we
Really?
made all the Monte ones after every. Well, the last. Well, here's the last 4 songs I made. The last song I made was Chinese Finger Trap.
Mm-hmm.
The second to last song I made was Opportunity Kids, and then the last 2 before that I made were Trip and Baking Soda. So the album was gonna be without all 4 of those songs at first.
Wow.
But the grace of God, and so yeah, those songs are made of feelings. Like literally, the thing that made me write Chinese Finger Trap literally happened in August. Like literally, I wrote that in August. I wrote Opportunity Kids also in August. Yeah, but then Reason with Overcast was actually the first song I wrote for the entire thing, and it's the only one that I wrote before like shit started getting real tragic. Well, my uncle had just died. I wrote that one on tour. Like, he was with me when I wrote it. He was with me still on Jack Harlow when I wrote that one. Um,
Damn.
yeah, and it was just about me not having enough money to leave tour to go to my uncle's funeral. About my man Mitch being ready to beat niggas up, like when we was down in the GA watching the show. Who got too close
Mm-hmm.
to me? It's about me breaking my face, and having to buy Ray-Bans because I couldn't afford buffs. It's definitely my tour diary reason is,
Yeah.
because
And
we was
I
really just
and
looking
mhm.
for a reason, for better or worse.
Right. That's like a, like I kind of, I mean, like I obviously didn't have a lot of the details about your uncle's death, but like I noticed like the bit about the Ray-Bans and just like the thing about that song that gets me so much is that like a lot of it is like real emotionally intense, but like the beat is just so like skippy and like jumpy and just like not happy. I feel like happy is the wrong word, but it's like peppy in a way that
Pleasant.
like that, yeah, definitely pleasant, like, and I just
That's
like I'm a sucker for that dichotomy. I love the
that's
like,
the whole shit with the album though. Like that's what
yeah,
the album is about, bro. Like I read some review of the album today that said the song "Having My Way" is classic regular hip hop braggadocio.
really.
It's like
Yeah.
it's actually almost the complete opposite. It's about like how like forcing my way like isolates me from the safety of other people. Like like um I said my moral compass is like a casino roulette. I
Hmm.
bet my life and ain't even seen all the cake. It's just for me having my way. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose guidance when you force your way. Like that's why it's a song in there called Spoiled Brat. Spoiled Brat and
Yeah.
Having My Way are related titles. Like they're not like you understand what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
having my way is not something I'm proud when it happens. Like when I can't come to a place of consensus with the people that care about me, I feel like I'm acting out. And that's what that song is about. That song was about in the time after I broke my face on tour, nigga was being a dickhead to everybody because nigga was just post concussed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I was really having my way on tour for better. Niggas couldn't tell me nothing. That ain't no way I like to exist. There's no space I like to exist in. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I think I took a risk in putting complicated messaging um, under um, contrast backdrops. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
hope as project continues to live, people will listen closely for those types of things throughout the entire soundtrack.
Right. I'm happy you brought that up because that was actually something I had written down. Like one of the things I've always loved, I mean, like I feel like I've told you this a couple times, but one of the things I've always loved about your shit is that like my favorite rappers across rap period are people who break really complicated ideas down into very simple and elegant things, you know, like that's everybody from Doom to Keith to even like Tony Snow is somebody I would consider who does something like that for me now, you know, like the list is endless. I got a list. I'm not gonna list all my favorite rappers, but like you do that for me. You always have, and like I noticed that way more on Laughing So Hard It Hurts. Like this is like this one lyric I'm about to pluck from Reason has nothing to do with or like not nothing to do with what you just told me, but just like you just saying like learning legalese just so I can see the games that they come with, knowing when they're pressing my buttons, that
Yeah.
like that moment to me, like it's not directly addressing it, but it's like you deliberately trying to look at stuff that's made to be as complicated as possible and like
Yeah.
trying to understand it, you know, like that's like the whole idea of like existing in your emotions and laughing so hard it hurts to me is about untangling these fucking emotions, right? And
Right.
making that like that bar isn't about that, but it's about that,
But
you know, like
it is like saying figuring out, like detangling is a good word. Like how you use untangling or all of that shit is like the stuff of the album. That's the meat and potatoes of the album. It's
yeah,
me figuring out what does manhood mean when it's outside of the context of being able to raise a child or being able to coexist or cohabitate with a woman. You know what I'm saying? It means like
or being able to beat somebody up, you know, like
yeah, or be gangster, or what is manhood outside of like um your failures as a family or outside of your successes as a professional. Like I'm untangling all of these complicated things that life has thrown at me literally over the last year because it's about tour. It's about tour. It's about my baby, and then it's about after tour. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah,
story, three different seasons that's divided each by a tragedy apiece. And it's about how I struggle to refine myself and refine my smile after all of that, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know like that's like the love aspect is something that really stuck out to me about this too. Like there's just so many like like I think I told Zay this the first time I listened to the album through, but just like one of my favorites that I always think about is when you said I can't count a frame where I didn't miss you on Doves. Like I love the image of just like of like a frame as like a literal like second, you know, just like you're saying that there isn't a second, just like that's like I get that, like that shit spoke to me, like that really spoke to me.
But also, that's one shit though. Like, I think because the album is girly, like, for example, in terms of my vocal inflections or like the kind of keys and pleasant beats, that I mean, the beats are in pleasant keys throughout the album and stuff like effeminate.
Yeah.
Like in the same way, like my chain, you see, I got like cursive letters. It's like
Mm-hmm.
something effeminate to me. Me and Sideshow was just talking about this with your hair, with your nails, with your skin, with how you smell. You need a
Yeah,
touch of femininity in your life. So this
that's
album is
facts, bro.
definitely drizzled with girliness, especially given the kind of tragedy that caused me to make it. All of that to say, like something like doves, like that stuff about missing you, and even like on Good Ghost, like Good Ghost is not about loving a girl, and doves is not about loving a girl. It's about dead people.
Yeah.
I can kind of frame that I didn't miss you. I've been out of space and I can trying to get through. Like
Mm-hmm.
basically, I've been getting high as fuck to a point where like, nigga, I'm trying to get cross over into heaven to fuck with you again. Like we ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that shit crazy though. It's been a I don't know. I don't know, bro. Like, yeah, the album is just like it's about loss in many forms, and like Dubs is like low key about like Dubs is on some commiserating shit for real. And then that's also the other thing. Like Dubs is like the most move your feety kind of song out of the whole shit. But it's
Yeah.
like really the thoughts of a beat up ass nigga like sitting in the dark corner drinking, you know?
Yeah. But then you look at a song like Opportunity Kids, and Opportunity Kids is almost like the exact, like it's almost like the polar opposite of that. At least it feels like that to me.
Yeah,
Because like that song is about Kill Switch, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken, right?
it
Yeah, so like
is.
that's, like you're like that's just kind of you, like, like confiding in the people that like you can love here in the physical. And like,
Yes, exactly.
yeah,
And it was
like, yeah, sorry, you go.
it's about never mind, I ain't gonna say all that. I was gonna say it like this. One of my friends, like, they had to like go home from I don't know. One of my friends had to leave me in like a really difficult time for me to exist. Like, they just had to go. Like, not they had to go like we had no big conflict. But like I was going through a bunch of shit and they had to leave. And that just happened to coincide at the same time. And then that song is about that and Kill Switch. Like damn, like certain niggas never left me, and we gonna make it. Like, even if one of us is gonna make it first and one of us gonna make it last, we all make it. Like, so why did you have to leave? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
Kill Switch is definitely the Opportunity Kids prosperity gang though. Like, it's yeah, it was literally just what I say. It was me and Skull and me and Snow, my twin, and then Makai. Like, for real. It was us five, like, and our people, like, our mamas all raised us a certain way in a certain place for us to like have a greater opportunity at this life. Like, we done there like immigrants kids, but like we from
Right.
America type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And just like, like that's like, just like the, like love, before I move on to my second to last question, like love is just like, I just sensed a lot of it just in like all the little details on here, like whether it's about a woman, whether it's about your homies, whether it's about people you miss, whether it's about
Mm-hmm.
people who are no longer with us, like
Mm-hmm.
like there's just like you just really dig into a lot to love, and like what it means to love, what it means to be loved, like what it
Mm-hmm.
means to lose it, gain it, all that shit. And I just like I think it pairs well with the I think it pairs well with the intimacy of like all the beats, and especially this idea of like femininity in there too, because like as a non-binary nigga myself, like I
Yeah.
completely feel you, like just like gender fluid type shit, like I completely
Right.
get where you're coming from with that. Like that's crucial for me. Like you can't see it right now, but my nails, I still got purple shit on my nails. I've had this shit
Yeah, that's
on
what
my nails for the last like 3 weeks type shit. Like it's like those little
you have to
touches.
have a touch of feminine. You have to have a lot of femininity in your life, like,
Yeah,
and so
man. Like
like
that shit is
it,
real.
it became about me. Um, I don't know, bro. I don't know. And I wrote it with a girl underneath me, and it's like I wrote it for her and with her, and she the last voice you hear on the
Hmm.
album. You
I
know
was
what
gonna
I'm saying?
ask who that was. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you should have her on here. She's like a brilliant horror writer. She got a crate. I'm gonna get her to send you a book.
Yeah, link me up. I want to, let's make it happen. What's her name so people know?
It's Nadira. She has this book. Um, I Want to Love My Own Life. It's like a
Ooh.
horror book. Yeah, it's very good. But yeah, tap in with Nadira, man. Go buy that
All
book.
right.
But what's the name? She yeah, just us going through that thing together. It was really like before I released it, right? It was things about the album that everybody who was able to hear it before pre-release didn't like. And she was the only person who I'm like, I really give a fuck. Like, if she say this shit trash, then it's trash. But if she say it's cool, then it's gone. And she was saying
Mm.
it was cool every time. So it was really made with delicacy and healing and love and tenderness and warmth in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
tell that. And and earlier, like earlier in October, you put out two tweets.
Mhm.
You said my album is innocent. I made it to express myself, not for the impending review. If that costs me, I'm more than okay with it. And all my
Yeah.
albums will be innocent. So I'm just
Yeah.
curious, just like thinking about the idea of like innocence, especially as it relates to everything we just talked about. Like,
Yeah.
what does innocence mean to you? Like, what about laughing so hard it hurts is innocent? Just because, like, yeah, just because I'm curious. Like, that's an interesting thought to me.
It's about a baby that I didn't get to have. So that's why it's about innocence. And it's about innocence because I needed to not feel certain ways that I was feeling. And that's not the path out of feeling that way was not no kind of feeling that like I could puff my chest out through at all. Or that I would even be able to preserve my ego or sense of self through. So it's like innocent in terms of being naked,
Uh-huh.
like Adam and Eve before they bit the apple type of innocent, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And
Uncorrupted.
uncorrupted. Yeah, it's like unfiltered.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not unfiltered, but definitely uncorrupted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think. I and you've always kind of been that. You've always kind of pursued that. I feel like like even the stuff you dropped before Let the Sun Talk was kind of digging into that. Like like when, cause like yeah, cause like like I had heard the first handful of joints you put out right before Let the Sun Talk drop, and
Right.
and then we met for the first time at
King Tifo's?
the live the Live Frank and Maxo show at Elsewhere in
Yes.
Brooklyn.
I remember that. I love that show.
That
I
was
love that show.
I still think about that show to this day. That shit was such
I
a beautiful
know, I
night.
know. This nigga lived just I don't know, I ain't gonna speak on it. But he's had a bad experience over there. And I was like, damn, I'm
Yeah,
sick because I
no,
wanted to go back so bad. Like, bro, that was a
son.
good ass show. And I
That
ain't
was
do nothing but one song. Bro, that nigga Max down there, he did this song, Free Nina. That shit
yeah,
literally was finna make me cry. And that
yo.
nigga Max, he like got some like jazz man in him, bro. Like blues singer in him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That new album's a head buzz. People aren't ready for the Maxo albums. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm
Man,
gonna
that
say.
shit's serious.
Yeah, nah. And yeah, real fast. I was there the night that Liv got assaulted at Elsewhere, and that shit was trash.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck,
because I was.
fuck that dude.
Yeah, that
You don't
was.
let
Yeah,
nobody. You don't let us catch him.
yeah, nah. For
No,
real.
man. Rest.
Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't see who did it, but I saw him after, and we talked, and he was good, but it was just like it's whatever. We don't got to dwell on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I say all that to say that you've always pursued that kind of innocence, just like in terms of like being, just in terms of like being really in tune with like the purest thoughts in your brain and like what
Right.
that means, and like that's a beautiful thing. Like I don't want to say everyone should aspire to that because obviously everyone creates differently, but I think if you're willing to go that far into yourself, that's that's important. And like for the type of music you make, it's always benefited you, and I really just love to see it kind of manifest in this like especially like with the beats. Like I feel like you hit this really nice middle ground, like in terms of like sound and in terms of just like you bringing your thoughts out, like like
Mm-hmm.
like 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 I got a lot of the same feelings from this that I got from Red Veil's Learn to Swim. Like
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like they're companion pieces in a sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like y'all are kind of digging into the same shit. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say other than that. I just think it's dope. Like
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I had to feel a lot of shit I would have went without feeling. to make it, but that make me even more grateful for the fact that I got to make it. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah,
definitely
bro.
a blessing.
Absolutely. And to really wrap this up, on Mavi, if your life was a movie, what would it be about?
Um, it would be about a nigga winning the mayor of a city with no
Hmm.
party endorsement. Yeah.
Third party on Mavi? Okay. I'm fucking with it. I
Yeah,
like that.
literally.
I like that. I like
No endorsement.
I like how simple that is, you know?
Yeah. It'll be a nigga trying to be the president off zero lobbying dollars.
Hmm.
It's about a nigga who trying to maintain his moral compass and ability to see and do the right thing while going into something as ugly and dirty and corrupt as politics. Hmm. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, man. And you've been doing it, Like it's like I said, it's been about, 3, 4 years since you like really started to like put foot to pedal and just like
Hmm.
going from like doing interviews out your fucking Howard dorm room to here. Like,
Hmm.
it's just like just like as a fan and like as your friend, I'm gonna say it again. I know you don't really feel like you have everything to be proud of, but like you should be proud of like who you are and what you do and the way you do it. And it's just it's really just been like it's just been so beautiful to see you grow
Oh
into the
no, man.
person that you've become. Yeah, like
Nah, if I'm proud of anything, fuck who I am or what I become, because I was gonna be that and become that regardless. What I'm proud of is all that I've learned and everybody that I've learned from. And the two things I'll allow myself to feel proud
Mhm.
of. Hmm.
Like fucking humility's great, and I love that particular strain of humility. But like, you've been killing this shit, man, and I'm just like, I just
I just been beating it up a little. Killing it soon here in a second. Cause niggas playing with my top. Like, watch this. My next album, niggas gonna have to enter me in the best rapper discussion. Period. Like, and
Come
like,
on, son.
you know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, I'm on nigga ass, head, neck, whatever they want to call it.
But yeah, no, I'm ready. Like you already know I'm ready. But yeah, just like thank you for taking the time to talk to me about bullshit.
What?
And
Cinema and film and movies and music and shit. That ain't bullshit, man. That shit for real. Culture is real. Think about what the first shit we talked about. Like, nigga, if movies don't know real shit to talk about all that stuff, talk about a movie with all that kind of sense of seriousness. It's like we discussing pro wrestlers gimmicks like they a real person. But
yeah,
we would only do that if, pro wrestling really determined our visions of possibility and shit like this. And these things do, music and art and movies, they definitely do.
yeah, nah, like they really alter and change and just like establish our perspective on life, and like that's why the shit's so important to me. Outside of the fact that
Hell
it's just
yeah.
fire, and like just to, yeah,
And
like
fun.
just yeah, like it's just fun. Like we're just here to have fun, and I appreciate being able to do that in like a in a different way. I guess I hope it's kind of different, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think it's really different. I've never been on no shit like this. That's why I wanted to come on it so bad. And I feel like I had the time that I wanted to have on this motherfucker,
thank
like
you.
in like the best way possible.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh, thank you so much, bro. No, that really means the world. I'm just trying to make this fun, for all
You
of
got
us. Cause
something good going, bro.
thank
You
you.
got something really good going. You need to have niggas on here who want to watch more movies than me though. You need to
Nah.
have sideshow.
What happened?
You need to have sideshow on here.
I would love to have Sideshow on here. I've been fucking with bro for a while. If he wants
And
to,
if you
I'm in.
into,
Like,
I'm gonna tell. If you into comic book stuff, you should have Amir on here too.
oh
He's
hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, Amir is the biggest comic book head.
Yeah, no, that's all my shit. Like I won't show you my room because it's kind of dirty, but it's just like you would think like a 12-year-old lives in my room. Like,
That's
like
your guy.
thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far, and shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.